everybody's favorite topic. We're going to be talking about everything legal, tax, basically all the most important stuff about your business that nobody likes to talk about or think about. But don't worry, we've got it covered for you. So today we have Paul here, and Paul is awesome. So you should listen to him. So Paul, introduce yourself, a little bit about your background and kind of what you do.
Hey, thanks. No, thanks for having me on. And yeah, I do like to talk about it, but that's just a sign that I need a better hobby. Maybe I should start selling on Amazon.
You're always talking about tax and law.
Yeah, I did used to sell. I was a seller in law school. I was an arbitrage person back in 02, 03, 04. I don't want to say I invented it, but nobody was doing it back then. There was no FBA. Yeah, I made a lot of money doing it. And I think the biggest mistake I've made, I'm starting to realize now that I represent so many e-commerce sellers, is that I didn't stay doing it. I didn't realize at the time how awesome it was going to be to become an Amazon seller. Who knew? But it's just a few years too early, I guess. But
so you know Amazon, but you know all the parts of like business. So if you would have stayed, you would have been one of these giants. But
yeah,
you have stuff that the giants need. So
I'd like to think so. We work with enough of them, and not just the giants. We work with the starters and the big guys. So yeah, my name is Paul Rafelson. I'm an attorney from ecomattorneys.com. Basically, I am a partner in a law practice that is very focused on e-commerce. We represent a lot of Amazon sellers. Basically, whatever an Amazon seller would need, and oftentimes they don't even know what they would need, we sort of handle that. So tax, corporate structuring, intellectual property, even Amazon suspension type stuff. We've got a great team. We've got a 20-year manufacturing patent lawyer as a partner of mine, ex-Microsoft guy like me. I've got an 8-year seller who is a multi-million-dollar seller and still has a seller business.
Left out the cool note about him.
What was that?
No, that he did Bill Gates' patent.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, he gets modest about that, but you're certainly. I can say it. He was, yes, Bill Gates. He was senior patent counsel to the chief software architect of Microsoft when I was there. So he kind of knows a few things about the patent world and the trademark world and everything IP. So yeah, and Bill G was definitely somebody that he's worked with at Microsoft. It's pretty amazing. I do like the fact that I can say that to our clients. The only downside to that is I think he's really expensive, and then they find out he's actually cheaper than most local lawyers, which I don't really get. But we don't. Everybody sets their own fees and figures out what they need to survive, and his fee structure is really reasonable, which I love that too, because that makes them accessible to our clients. So
that's awesome. So you guys handle intellectual property, formation of companies, in tax. And then also, or in the asset protection side of the world?
Asset protection, estate planning, which is huge. There's a lot of Amazon specific stuff with estate planning we can talk about another time, but we obviously there's elements of that require local counsel. We have a network of local counsel that we partner with when needed to help make sure that an estate plan is appropriate for an Amazon seller. Believe me, it makes a difference when you sell on Amazon, how you plan for things like wills and trusts. And just, a little about me. I, started helping Amazon sellers 2 years ago after a blog post about sales tax. I used to be a litigator in tax law for Microsoft, Walmart, GE, big companies. You might see Ronnie Reagan behind me. That's not a political statement. Ronald Reagan used to do advertisements for GE. That was a gift that I got, so I have it hanging up. So, but yeah, I used to be a tax lawyer with these huge companies, and now I'm finding out that all that stuff I learned about global commerce is really needed in the e-commerce space for smaller businesses. So we've sort of built a practice around bringing that knowledge, that sphere of knowledge, to smaller sellers and to businesses that aren't the Fortune 500 but need that level of advice about the risks of being a global small business.
Yeah, and that's what I really liked about like what you guys do is your fees and your pricing, and just kind of you want to educate. And I mean, obviously everybody has to make money, but it seems like you only get value if the person got value, or like you don't try to sell them and give them misinformation, and you're even willing to inform people about things that you might not even offer. You just want to help people make sure that they're doing things right, and if it's a good fit, then you guys have a good service. So that I thought that was pretty cool, my thing. And I also have the problem of my fees and what I provide not matching.
Yeah, no, I mean, the last thing you want is to have, credibility is everything in this space, your reputation, and we guard it with our lives, and every one of us. And so we need our clients to be happy with us. So we really don't believe in selling, clients things they don't need, or overselling clients. We just, we look at your situation, we tell you how it is. And if you want to move and very low pressure. And I think the other thing about us that makes us unique as a law firm, I think a lot of people find surprised that we understand that nobody likes legal bills, especially ones they weren't expecting. So we do a lot of our stuff is flat rated and paid up front. And so it's sort of with us, unless it's a very quirky thing and it just, there's no other way to go about it but hourly, most of the time we can tell you, hey, if you want us to do this for you, it's going to be X. And we commit to it. We say, so pay us X, we do it. We don't send you a bill. And we also don't do, especially for people who are our clients, is we don't bill for like one-off phone calls. We don't, if somebody comes to me with a problem, I want them to come to me with a problem. And then they're not, if they're going to feel like they're going to get a bill in the mail for a half an hour conversation, I want them to come to me with problems because that's how that's how work is created, So we really are a big picture focused law firm. So I always tell my clients, once you're a client of the firm, you get a letter from the IRS in the middle of the night, and you open it in the middle of the night, you can't go to sleep. Send me an email. I'll get on the phone with you. I spoke to clients last year at Christmas Eve. I was talking to clients with this California nonsense who couldn't get to sleep at night. I wanted them to have a good holiday. We kind of understand that, sellers, we like certainty, we like transparency. And so, and while it might sound novel, it's actually pretty common in the big corporations to practice that way. We would pretty much hold our law firms accountable to set fees unless it was complex litigation. And I just sort of borrowed that model and just said, well, gee, wouldn't everybody love that? And so that's what we try to do.
Well, I like that. So awesome. So guys, make sure to watch all these videos because there's lots of knowledge in here. So we're going to be covering all sorts of great topics. So thank you for helping everybody out, Paul. And we'll get into the videos now. Where can they find you again?
ecomattorneys.com, ecomattorneys.com.
Awesome. Well, the link will be everywhere. So check them out, guys. Sweet.